starts swinging back. And we want to say a big welcome to our fans and especially the folks joining us here from White Bear Lake this evening. Let's begin by introducing the starters for our visitors from White Bear Lake, wearing number 2.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Forest Lake High School, where tonight the Forest Lake Rangers will be off against the White Bear Lake Bears. Wow, we are here and we are back. I'm Vincent, and it's going to be a very interesting time right now. As tonight, it's volleyball, but more than just that, I mean, it's during a time of a global pandemic due to COVID-19. A lot has had to change with all the schools, academics, and sports, and it's just all crazy. But somehow they found a way, and we're playing some sports tonight. And due to all the COVID change, Forest Lake and all the SEC and throughout Minnesota, it's all conference play. There's going to be no outside of conference matches. It's just going to be 18 games, one series at home and one series away. Right now, very early on in the season for both teams, that this is game 5 for both of them. Forest Lake even 2-2, and White Bear is a nice cool 1-3. So I mean, like, you can't really say too much off of the early stats, but right now it's a kind of weird groomed gray area as they're trying to find their footing and find their power as they're getting on throughout the season. And as those introductions were going on, for Forest Lake, the starting lineup is number 3, Yeager, number 4, Andrews, who's a captain, number 5, Ify, who's also a captain, number 9, Mazurek, number 11, Brandel, number 17, Demars, who's a captain, and number 33 is Weiss for Forest Lake. And for White Bear, you got Sammy Steffens, who's a captain, you got Lizzie Nelson, you got Dumbia and Messerschmidt, including number 9 Gustafson and number 14 Gustafson, both sisters. That's going to be Kendra and Kylie, and then number 22 Hannah Meyer, who's also going to be having some starts here. And it looks like it's going to be starting off with the Rangers, as it's both white jerseys out. It's just going to be white and maroon and white and black with shades of orange. Right now, number 11 for the Rangers, Brandel, is going to get ready to serve it off for the Rangers. And we have started some more volleyball for Forest Lake and White Bear. That's going to be up, saved by the libero. Quick tap inside. Nice movement out. Keys with the block. Setting up the nice tap, and no one was there. That's the first point for the Rangers. Nice job there. Fooling the defense that White Bear had kind of schemed up. Dumbia was the closest one in the vicinity. Back to another serve. That's going to be up to the libero. That's Nelson. Brings it back, block. Nice low save by Andrews. Moving back to the outside. White Bear trying to set up the big play, and here he goes, back around. Back to the inside, Ify with a pinpoint strike. And that's 2 there for the Rangers. As that was right in the feet of Steffens for White Bear. And that's the start you like to see for the Rangers as they get going. Another serve here for Brandel. And right now, very aggressive tech very early on here. As it starts up, White Bear going to start out the quick. And a nice, strong spike there for White Bears. Looked like that went off the hands of, I want to say, Mosrek. And looks like a sub coming in. Number 14, Gustafson, is now in for the Bears. Rozak was the closest one to it. Now it's Ify who sends it up. No one's there. Nice save by the libero. Bring it back around. And now Rangers trying to set up with a spike. Fake, that's Ify! Just close. That was right to the outside. It's 2-all now. Now it's going to be the first serve for the White Bear Lake Bears. That's going to be Meyer, number 22. She takes it out. Nice low, that's Mrozek. With the save, spike, no one's there. With the impending wall, she just powered through that one as DeMars with the heavy hammer. Looks like that's going to be number 3, Jaeger, with the next serve for the Rangers. Up and over. Trying to move. Those corner spikes, and just no one was there, and that's going to be an easy point for the Bears. That looks to be, that was Nelson who made that play. Another substitution early on, as it looks to be number 8, Farrington, for the Bears, as she's now going to be serving too. Farrington getting subbed in, and now she is serving. Starts by the first save off the hands of what looked to be Jaeger, and just an easy tap down. And that was a quick, cool point that looked to be Mrozak with another easy one. Couple quick punches by each side. No one's letting up. Serve over. That looked to be DeMars with this nice block. Bring it back around. Nelson serves it up. Spike. No one was there. And that's another one. That's another easy point there, as that looked to be number 14, Gustafson. Kind of went off the hands of Jaeger. I mean, she just put it in a spot where no one could block it, kind of hit it up at all. And that was just going to be a nice play there by the Bears. There's another serve out by Nelson. And too much oomph on that one as she serves it out. And looks like a substitution being made, just kind of making sure the refs know. Looks to be number 7 and 6 for the Rangers coming in. That's Anderson and Muehlner. And right now, nice serve out, as that's Nelson almost interfering. That's 3. Had to make sure that they didn't go over. Nice spike, and spike with too much power. Number 8, Farrington, was super smart with that, not trying to touch it because she knew that one was going to go out. As it looks like another substitution again being made as Gustafson goes out and Sangers comes in. Sangers serves. That's Andrews. Another setup and the tap. And again, that looked to be Mrozak. Just couldn't get enough on it, as she had the brilliant play not to spike it into the sea of hands, but just couldn't get enough on. As Sangers serves it out. Another time around, and a nice tap and hitting those soft spots. As Rangers with another point. And another substitution. Looks like number 20 is coming in. That's Baki for the Rangers. It's 6-all early on here with some volleyball action. The serves over. 2 people kind of around it. Bit of a communication error there as Rangers are setting up. Now here comes the volley. Back around. That's Andrews. Serves back around. The tap. Nice corner tap. As that one's going to be another point for the Rangers. Andrews with a wonderful setup, as that was going to be all day. That's the serves over. That's Mrozak. Spike into a wall. And it looks like saves around. Just kind of the tap over in the same soft spot. And Rangers are capitalizing just on the top of the L of Forest Lake. As I want to say that was I want to say that was Baki with the great play there. Another great serve. It was round corner block. And that's good defense there. Into the pending sea of hands. Perfect play by the Rangers. Rangers up 9-6, excuse me. Mrozak with the serve. Off the hands. Easy ace. As Sangers just kind of couldn't get under it to set it up for teammates. A lot of speed on that one. That's number 9, Kaylee Mrozak. As she puts it outside there. Her clean streak kind of ends there, but I mean, overall, this Forest Lake team has kind of been building up for something like this. So many seniors on the roster, as Forest Lake has just kind of been finding an identity in this volleyball, and Forest Lake volleyball has just overall always been good. As a big defensive play there that looked to be, I want to say number 6, Messerschmidt, with the great play. But Forest Lake has always tended to have good volleyball. I mean that's where to Forest Lake, that's kind of your Duke Blue Devils basketball situation, where that's where you want to go to play a sport. As that's going to be too far outside, as it looks like number 2, Steffens, kind of had too much heat on that. It looks like number 17 comes in for the Rangers. That's DeMars, as she's back in. Serves by the libero Andrews. And that's way off the hands. That's going to go right into the announcer's table. And that's another cool point there for the Rangers, as Andrews going to start with it. Changing the formation are the Bears. Trying to protect the middle as they've been attacked so dearly. And Andrews tried to dive for it, couldn't get there in time, and that's going to be a quick point for the Bears. 12-9. And now for the serve, that looks to be Sarah Spears for the Bears. Spears snakes it over. Miscommunication as a costly point there. That looked to be number 20, Baki, just kind of getting in the way. Communication definitely a huge part into the success of both these teams and how they're playing. Again, Forest Lake 2-2, and since these are all conference matches, they're 2-2 overall. Their 2 wins comes at Roseville at home and Irondale and at Irondale, and their 2 losses were Woodbury and Moundsview. As this was a great volley met into the wall, but just gets it over, and that's another point for the Rangers. That looks to me Muehlner. And another substitution being made by both sides, as number 6 is coming in for the Bears. Number 5, Ify, and number 11, Brandell for the Rangers is coming in. Number 6, Messerschmidt is coming out, and so is number 7, Spears, and the libero number 3, Nelson, is back in for the Bears. As a volley set, trying to hit the hammer, and it goes down as number 4, Dumbia hits it home. 13-11, with the serve to be number 22, Hannah Meyer. And the Bears kind of having the same story, too. I mean, they're 1-3, but again, there's still a lot of games to be played for volleyball. And overall, their losses were to Moundsview at home, at Eastridge, and at Roseville. Their only win was at home at Irondale. So it's at home to Irondale, excuse me. And it's kind of like those key wins is definitely what you need to have. The momentum always changes, and it's how far you can carry. And the Rangers can't find consistency right now, just kind of trading off wins and losses. As a great volley sends Ify with the great spike down, but a good save there by look to be Steffens. Another volley goes around as Andrew sets it up. That's Moserak off the hands, and that's going to be a point Ranger. Another easy one as Mrozak has kind of been the name we've been talking about so far early in this first set. Number 3 for the Rangers is serving. That's a Jaeger. Jaeger sets it up. Nelson brings it back, but Nelson, too much juice on it, just goes into the net. And that's another point for the Rangers as Jaeger is going to have another crack at it. In a different formation here. Low serve. Nice and over. Meets the wall. Jaeger with a nice save. Moving around. Mrozak just gets it in the corner. Easy one there. I mean, they're definitely treading the line for pinpoint accuracy, just how close they can get it to the outside boundary. As that serves up and over. Oh, and just an easy tap. A little love tap there for, I want to say, number 22, Meyer. As a substitution is being made for the Bears, as it looks to be number 3, Nelson, or number 8, excuse me. Farrington is going to come in with the serve. Number 9, Gustafson came out for the Bears. As it's an easy tap over, and Rangers able to save it. Nelson brings it back in. And another go around. As that's Ify, and Ify couldn't get it over the net. That one will roll down. That's going to be a point for the Bears. Ify definitely their big hitter, trying to bring home the spike and the hammer. Couldn't get anything there. Andrews sets it up high. And then a nice spike down. As that's going to be an easy one for DeMars. That's one of your senior captains. Because DeMars also trying to bring the hammer. And right now, the Rangers with a nice lead, 18-13. Oh, and couldn't get a hand on it, as that was a nice serve. Great volleys, but Doumbia just couldn't get it over with that Manu Ginobili left hand. As that serves over. Nice control play. Oh, she didn't touch. They're going to call it fair. And the hammer goes down, but Nelson with a wonderful save. And Ify tried to put another one down, brought it to the boundary. That's going to be... Oh, they're going to call it to the Rangers. They called it originally to the Bears, then gave it to the Rangers. And now it's going to be a first time out for what looks to be the Bears, as it is so quiet in this gymnasium. I mean, not that many fans. I mean, you could hear my pencil drop. That is how quiet and focused everyone is tonight. And right now, Rangers are up 20-13. And it's going to be very interesting to see. Those timeouts are always so crucial in how you game plan and prepare, and momentum-paced style competition. So, I mean, you gotta give credit where credit is due to Coach Sarah Alm. I mean, she's coached volleyball for as long as I can remember when I was going to this high school, and she's been doing so well and able to train these girls to do absolutely wonderful things. And head coach for the White Bear Lake Bears, Mike Alexander, trying to prep his girls to do something or another of a good comeback as they're just down 7. DeMars is going to go with the serve for the Rangers. As they're setting up, it looks like the ref's kind of fumbling with what looks to be a whistle, a recorded whistle. Again, due to COVID, trying not to spread any germs or bacteria. That's quite interesting. Oh, with the floater. Mrozak just with the Eiffel Tower kind of maneuver. Easy little love tap. Beautiful job there. That's another serve for DeMars as the Rangers are up. That's going to be a nice serve. And it meets a wall. Good save. Bringing it back and around. Little floater. Nelson is going to set it up. Bring the hammer with the spin. And wow, I mean, that one couldn't have had much more of a beautiful curve than that. Steffens, one of the junior captains, was able to get her done there. And junior captains are always interesting to see, just to show the maturity of them to lead their team. And that's quite an honor to have. As another big hammer goes down, as it looked to be number 33 for the Rangers, Bethany Weiss, the sophomore 6-footer, as she brought that one home. Number 7, Rebecca Anderson, is in for the Rangers, and it looks like number 6, Muehlner, is also in for the Rangers. That one sets high off her hands. That looked to be number 8, Farrington. I'm just right in front of it. Well, I guess that's an ace for the Rangers, but Farrington just kind of couldn't get her hands under it. So that one just fell right through. As the Bears are setting up the play, Nelson brings it over, and too much momentum going as Jaeger just couldn't get under it, rolls off her arms, and that's going to be a point for the Bears. The serve finally coming back around. Number 13, Sang News for the Bears. Brings it over. Andrews sucks it up, and the hammer comes down, and that hits the ceiling. Right up in the rafters. Nelson sending him all so up high, but coming down, and that's out of bounds. As the Rangers with another point, 24-15. Again, another setup as all this takes time. Number 9 for the Rangers, Mrozak, serves it, and 2 people get in the way, as it looks like Nelson and Sangnes just kind of ran into each other. And that's how you'll end the first set, as the Rangers take the first one on. As a quick sweep there, 25-15, a 10-point differential. As the Rangers kind of took control early on, and I mean they didn't really look back. I mean, it was like 3-3, and they just never looked back from that. And just such a powerful group of them just going forward and putting the pedal to the metal. And right now, coming into the second set, the Bears got a game plan for another momentous task, as on their scores they haven't been able to do too much of any good, as it's like 3-0 sets and series that just kind of go by. And they need to clean up on those things, because when you're going down 0 and you're 0-2s each time, I mean, that's just a hard hill to climb on. So wins on the second series like this is going to be very crucial. And for the Rangers, I mean, Rangers have been in some shootouts early in the season, as they won a couple of them to 3-2 and 3-1, but Rangers know how to go on the winning side of the shootouts, and the Bears just need to know how to get their footing and not slip on the gas and just pump hard on the brakes. It'll be interesting to see how both teams will game plan out of this timeout in a minute 30. we are back here. It looks like I want to say that's the 90s Bulls music. And coming out of the first set as Rangers took it easily 25-15. Coming to the second set, I mean, very quick intermissions, but due to COVID and all the circumstances that we are under, just got to keep it very fast-paced, light, and breezy. As it's going to be very, very fun to see how we're going to be moving forward. As it looks like number 22 for the Bears, Hannah Meyer, is going to start with the serve. And it looks like Andrews is going to set it up. And the hammer goes down early with a nice low save. Bring it back to the other side, and that's going to be out. And Rangers with the first point in the second series as McKenna Andrews, the senior captain, has the keen awareness to make sure that goes out. McKenna Andrews, very interesting story on her. I mean, she's been starting since her sophomore year. I mean, she's such a gifted and talented player for this volleyball team. As another point for the Rangers goes on. But I mean, this libero, McKenna Andrews, is just absolutely amazing. Again, starting off since her sophomore year, and she's just been there playing consistently time in and time out. As the Rangers had that other point go in, and that's Andrews with the setup. Brings it over. That was Weiss. And that's going to be a point. She didn't touch the net. As that looks to be DeMars just curling the fingertips over the net. Just tap it. And I want to say that was Doumbia, who was right next to it and just couldn't make the call whether it was right or wrong. Ooh, nice angle to keep it in play for the Bears. As a spike down is hit for Nelson. Tried to use one hand, and that's another point for the Rangers. Kendra Gustafson, closest one there. Yeager, another one of these seniors with another serve. Bring it high and low. And another easy point as Kylie Gustafson couldn't get it under it. And here we go again with the Yeager. Yeager, the serve. She's one of 10 seniors on this Forest Lake roster as an absolute rocket had just came through. As Gustafson said, my bad, as she made up for her last mistake. Gustafson just with an absolute missile past Weiss. As that serve is by Farrington. Rangers brings it over, and another one by DeMars. As that is good, and another point for the Rangers. Coming out is Andrews. Coming in is Mrozak. Easy setup. Just trying to bring it over. Nice low save. Mrozak changing the angle. Too much heat. And that's going to be a point for the Bears. Coming back in is Andrews. Coming out is DeMars. Libero number 3, Nelson, is going to serve. Lizzie Nelson with the serve and a low serve and an easy ace. As right to the feet of Yeager. She couldn't get under it as that was a nice serve. Trying to capitalize and crawl their way back into it. They don't want to face a 2-0 deficit so quickly and so early. Diving save by what looked to be, I want to call that Prandell. And Rangers will get that point. As I mean, this super hungry and super fast-paced team, as quick substitutions are being made as Brandell and Mazzatelli are out for the Rangers. And it looks like Muehlner is back in. That one might have had too much heat, and that's going to be point for the Bears. And now another substitution as Sagners is in. Sagnes getting ready for the serve. Hits it over low. It's Jagger. Easy spike off the hands, and that's Rangers point. I mean, bringing up a 6-foot sophomore, Bethany Weiss. I mean, she's definitely showing why she deserves to be on the starting roster for the Rangers. Serve going here now by Weiss. Weiss kind of waiting for the ref's call. They might change the ball out. Ref wanted a different ball. As Weiss getting ready and set for the serve. And now ref's finally ready as they can blow the whistle to start her off. That serves up high, off the hands. Look to be back around. That's Andrews. Such fast pace. And a diving attempt by Nelson. That's going to be an easy point for the Rangers. I want to say that's from Rozak or that was Baki that was in the vicinity to make that play. Another serve here by Weiss. Underhand serve there. Gustafson saves it out. That's Nelson. That's set up and couldn't get to it was Anderson. Rebecca Anderson, another one of those seniors, couldn't fly to the ball fast enough. This now looks to be for the Bears. Number 2, Sammy Steffens with the serve. Andrews with the diving save, just brings it over and tries to save it in play. And backs around Gustafson. Moving inside, another dive. And too much heat on that. Bodies flying everywhere. Andrews making a couple nice saves, but that will be Bears point. And Sammy Steffens. Oh, they'll give it to the Rangers. Interesting. Had one decision. They flipped the decision back around. And now it looks to be DeMars with the sub back in and Andrews with the serve. And that one will go right into the White Bear players section. Just right off the arms of Gustafson. She's been having a little bit of trouble tonight trying to get under a couple of these passes. That one, no man's land, no communication there. As Nelson and Messerschmidt were the closest ones to that. As Rangers are just capitalizing 12-5. Anderson with the save. Up and over, and another save, just keeping it within play. They're trying to set up the spike, and the nice block there. As that looked to be DeMars was the first woman there. Amazing play by the Rangers. That's scheming, and that's going to be a timeout for White Bear. White Bear trying to slow down any momentum, but the Rangers are rolling here in Ranger Station as the train keeps moving on. An emphatic statement by Maddie DeMars just goes in and just puts a hammer down. The 6'1" senior definitely knows how to give those spikes pretty easily. And for White Bear, being put in this situation time again, they're going to need to find a game plan because the Rangers are hot right now, and they don't want to be stopped. And right now, it looks like Andrews will be the one to set up the serve, as that 3-woman wall there of DeMars, Muehlner, and Baki are just crowd that net to create those plays and the great defense. Nelson tries to set up, brings it out to the other side, and there it is. I mean, that defense, that time by Muehlner, I mean, that's just textbook stuff there. As just kind of crowding that net and letting the ball come to you and just not overstepping your boundaries. And that's the key to success and how this Rangers play. And another defensive block as they're just absolutely putting the pedal to the metal. Andrews getting ready for another serve here, 15 to 5. Andrews with the hot hand. Brings it over. Nelson tries to set it up to Meyer. Brings it back to the other side. Rangers trying to put the hammer down. A little too much heat on that hammer. As that was, again, Muehlner, one of the 2 sisters on this team. Muehlner, Grace Muehlner, and Maddie Muehlner for the Rangers. Substitution being made, number 6, Ellie Messerschmidt coming out, and Sarah Spears, number 7, coming in. Spears with the serve. Low save by Weiss. And the spike with absolute authority, as that was a sniper. Pinpoint accuracy as that was done. Looks to be number 26 and 11 for the Rangers. Brandell and Massatelli are in for the Rangers. And number 6 and 7, Messerschmidt and Spears are back out. And White Bear trying to work with this smaller, faster. That was no one. As it looks like, I don't think there's anyone, maybe one person over 6 foot on this roster. And another hammer by DeMars. 17-6 here. And Rangers are just taking over. That's going to be Brandell with the serve coming up for the Rangers. That one's up and over. And off the hands, trying to keep it in play. Nelson will save it. Andrews will set it up. Hammer by DeMars, bringing it back to the inside. Another save by Gustafson. Bringing it back out of Steffens. Rangers trying to keep it. Oh, and that was no touching of the net. Trying to make the call. And they'll give it to White Bear. That was Doumbia with the play next to the net. I mean, the refs trying to play. The refs very crucial here. And they made that call. They said it was the Bears, and they made it correctly. As definitely don't want any points to be fouled of either or. And another point there by the Rangers as putting another one down. That looked to be number 20, Baki. Baki's now out, and Jaeger's now in, and Jaeger will be serving. Jaeger had the hot hand earlier. Jaeger gonna try to put this one away. Slowly but surely, this Rangers team is just has the endurance and has the strength to survive, as that time the Bears put up the wall. That looked to be Doumbia and Gustafson. Another substitution being made. Looks like number 9, Gustafson, is out. And number 8, Farrington, is in for the Bears. Serves up and over. And that one, just too much juice and too much heat. Point Rangers, as that will go back to the other side. Great awareness there again by Weiss, making sure you don't need to touch it when you don't need to. DeMar's getting ready to serve. Andrews is out of the game, as she rarely is, always for like a play or two. Setting up for the spike, and that one again with too much heat. And the Bears are just are so eager right now, and trying not to slip this lead, trying to crawl and come back, but 20-8, it's going to be very hard to. As Doumbia is met with a wall. Weiss and Mrozak were there. Weiss and Mrozak were just putting up another impenetrable wall with that with that Rangers defense. And again, miscommunication by the Bears, and again, the Rangers are going to capitalize. 22-8. And Rangers are trying to put this one away. And the Bears right now just trying to put up 10. And another wall created there, but that one just bounced off the hands and out of bounds. So the Bears will get that point. 22-9, Andrews checks back into the game. And one thing you're seeing is on that Rangers bench, they're staying excited, they're staying hyped for this team. And right now, this Bears bench is just kind of quiet and sitting down. They don't know what to do. And this Rangers group is just so tight-knit, and they're all so close together. I mean, it definitely shows on the court here as they're all just supporting each other, screaming and yelling, and they're just having a good time as it's 23-9. Substitution being made. Number 24 for the Rangers is now in. Looks to be Mager, maybe. And that one, poor set off the hands of Farrington. Bad set there, as that's another Rangers point. And set point here for the Rangers. And this might be all but over slowly but surely. And a little too eager as the White Bear Lake Bears finally scratched double digits, 24-10. Right now, it's going to be a long game of catch-up if you're going to try to play this. Andrews sets it up, keeps it back in play, and the nice tap over and putting away the Bears in this series. Rozak says, "Not in my house," as she puts the shovel and starts digging the grave. As the Rangers are up 2-0 in this set. In 3 minutes, we'll see you for the third set. But right now, Rangers are rolling in Rangers Station because the train's never stopping. And my gosh, what takeaways from this second set? Defense is now taking over. What they're doing to have those three ladies up front against the net and just playing really phenomenal against the ball and the point of attack. It's going to be a pretty game for them if they keep it up like that. And right now, the Bears just need to keep composure. The Bears have definitely been very eager, and they've fallen behind before like this, and this is exactly what they didn't want to be. Down 0-2. It's going to be very hard for them to catch up, but you can never say never. We'll see you in 2:15. Coming back here in the third set as Rangers are going to try to look to put this one away and put this on ice and go over 500 to be 3-2. And White Bear just trying to force a set 4 right now, trying not to fall 1-4. And I mean, while it's early on in the season and it's not saying too much, it still says how much you can drive moving forward. And right now, White Bear is trying to get out of this funk, and that's how you start it. Taking nothing for granted as that was a beautiful, beautiful play there by that Force Lake front. And the impenetrable wall of Baki and DeMars will start it off, and another ace will start it faster than you can say finished. As that one is rolls back to the other side. It's Brendel with the beautiful ace, and Brendel with the second serve. Takes it over, brings it high. Looks like there's another libero in right now as Andrews is out. Nelson couldn't keep it within plays that went off her pro-dominant arm. Looks to be number 1. Jonah Gaynor is in for the Rangers, the other libero. For those who don't know, I believe her sister's Allie Gaynor, who was the Force Lake Women's Rangers hockey goalie last year when that team made it all the way to the semifinals of in conference bracket. And another point for the Rangers as they're putting on the hurt early. So that one's up and over by Brandel. Just a quick set. Nice awareness by Gaynor. Brings it over, met with the wall. Great save. Brings it back around. Ify. And another great save by Gaynor. Gaynor with the mess-up crew, but not that time. 3 impenetrable walls with the sea of hands by the Bears. Substitution being made. Looks like Sagner's out, and Kaylee Gustafson is in for the Bears. Serves up and over. Nice low serve with a reach, and that one's going to be perfect for staying in play. Pinpoint accuracy there is Baki with the play. Substitution, number 2, Swanson. We haven't heard Swanson till now tonight. She's another one of those 10 seniors. She's actually a senior captain. Definitely a rotational player. Finally seeing some time tonight. Man to a wall. Gaynor. Ify off the hands. That might have been 2. There's 3. Too much heat. Nelson couldn't compose it. And there's another point for the Rangers. As the Rangers are just throwing haymakers in Rocky 4. And right now, there's just absolutely no answer for this Bears team. As a little bit of a love tap there by McPhee. That is correct. All right, just had to make sure. McPhee with the love tap. And another point there for the Rangers. It's a low serve. DeMar with the little wrist down, and another one. DeMar playing all on her own as she had 2 quintessential blocks there. 8-1, and another early timeout for this White Bear Bears team. And this is just brutal. This is definitely what you don't want to see. And wow, Rangers are really bringing it to them. And execution has just been so much of a key here tonight, as Alm has just been coaching these girls to just execute with absolute precision and perfection. So surgical with what they're doing and just methodically just breaking them apart piece by piece. And right now, Mike Alexander's got to be scrambling for some option, and you got to give credit to where credit's due. Mike Alexander just doing the best he can, and they gotta stay calm and composed here. You can never really panic under pressure. They are literally their worst enemy right now, and the Rangers are just dancing, having a good time. Shows you how much they're into this right now, as they're just having a grand old time. Going back for the serve here as it looks to be Swenson. Swenson getting ready for the serve. Swenson with the serve. Up and over. Nice little tap. Gaynor with the save. Bringing around Ify with the hammer. Ify met with the block by Dumbia. And another misplay there that looked to be McPhee. Wow. Dumbia just said, "Not in my house," Matumbo style, and just put a Absolutely beautiful play there. Serves up and over by Gustafson. Rangers brings it over and brings the heat with the quick answer by DeMars. And that's what the Rangers have been able to do so well, is just the answers. When they let up a point, they're firing back. I think in the first set, the Bears went on like a 2-0 run, and like that's it. I mean, that's what the Rangers have been doing so well, is just answering when they need to. As Gaynor goes back in, and it looks like DeMars is back out. Serves over by Nelson. As they're popping it high. Ify with the hammer. Great diving save against the net, and they couldn't get it. Just kind of staying trapped between that net. I think that was Gustafson had the last chance at it. She couldn't get over. Good saving attempt, but just couldn't get nothing under it. Rangers with another substitution. That looks to be Anderson. And it looks like Sauer's doing my job for me. That's Mazzatelli. Mazzatelli and Anderson were back in for the Rangers. And great defense there. That's the sophomore Weiss putting one home. Looks like the serve's going to go over by Anderson. And the play is out of bounds, and that's going to be a point Bears. 11-4. Bears are trying to claw their way back into this one, force a game 4. Going right now for the serve. That's Sagner. Sagner, nice serve. That's up and over. McPhee. Bring it back to the other side. Gaynor with the great save. And now Gustafson tries to answer back around. Met with the wall. Rangers keep it in play. Hammer by Weiss. And Weiss able to bang it out of here, as that looked to be off the hands of Nelson. Right now, number 16 with the serve for the Rangers. That's going to be McPhee. McPhee brings it up and over. Easy set, but that one's too much heat on that. So you can show the antsiness and anticipation of just the eagerness that they want to come back in, and you can see Coach Mike Alexander really just trying to coach his team, trying to keep them composed. But with 13-4, it's very hard to do, and the Bears are trying everything they can do, and it starts with plays like that, as a nice play right on the boundary line on the Rangers border, right under the F logo for Forest Lake. Number 2 for the Rangers, for the Bears, excuse me. Steffner couldn't get it over the net, and it's just constantly things like that and mistakes they've been making all night where it's just been so crucial. DeMars checks back into the game, and it looks to be Weiss is back out. Gaynor with the serve. With the block. Nice save back up. Rangers set it up. Nice little love tap. Bringing it back around. Too much heat. And that looked to be Gustafson. Tried to bring that one home. Couldn't do it. 15-5 as Gaynor's getting ready for another serve. Low. Just kind of taps it over. Doesn't even need the third one. Brings the hammer, and great save there by Steffner. Tries to bring it back around, lost her footing. You could see there Baki was like, my bad, as that was set up by McPhee, but Baki kind of lost her footing. Back into the game, that's Doumbia, and it looks to be number 7, Spears, is also back in, and number 6, Messerschmidt, is out of the game for the Bears. And looks like Spears is actually going to be the one with the serve. Now Rangers trying to capitalize on an opportunity, and that subbed in DeMars just comes in crucial as she just brings that one home. and it's going to be Ify and Brandell in for the Rangers. And I want to say that is number 6, Messerschmidt, is in for the Bears. And one thing that you've definitely been noticing, and what what Coach Alma's been doing so well, is the rotation. I mean, she has girls that can step up and just play absolutely fine the place, and that just has the system around to have these girls succeed, and that's what she's been able to do so well. Bringing it back around, back in Rangers play. DeMars trying to bring it, met with the hammer. DeMars with the save. Bring it back around. Gaynor's just going to put it back in play. Set it up. Gustafson can't dive. That's going to be point Bears. Gaynor was the closest one to it. 25 to 15 and 25 to 10 as those first two series were just easily run up by the Rangers. And right now it's looking no different, 16 to 7. But the Bears are trying to mount a comeback here, and never say never. But as the libero, Lizzie Nelson couldn't get under it, couldn't pop it up, and that's going to be another Rangers point. As number 2, Paige Swanson, is back into the game for the Rangers. Swanson with an easy serve and go, as that looks to be off the arms of both Meyer and Nelson. And Swanson is just looking to put this one away. Serves up and over, Gustafson, Gaynor brings it back out, hammers McPhee, another great save. Fake spike out, just has to keep it back in play. Ify with the little set, easy Nelson. Nelson sets it up. Doumbia with the tap and keeps it easy there. 18-8. Pulling it within 10. And Doumbia with a great play there. Great awareness to not try spiking to the wall, but more is just set it over them. And now it's Gustafson with the serve. And that's going to be point Bears, excuse me. As Gustafson didn't go for it, as she knew that was going to go out. Now Gustafson with the serve. Gustafson, crucial things like that. We've seen a couple of those by the Bears tonight, and those have definitely been costly. 19-9 as that pass was short. DeMars is going to go in with the serve. Gaynor's out of the game for the Rangers. Little tap. Ooh, balancing off the net. Miscommunication there as Ify and Brandell didn't know what to do with it. Nelson definitely knew that was going to go out all day, so she didn't need to do a single thing with it. As that set starts out, set up, and the sophomore Weiss hammers it down, but great save there by the Bears. Brought it over, that's Ify. Good save. Nelson sets it up. Tap. Great save. That was Steffens. Bring it back around. Ify with another hammer. She thought it went off the arms of Steffens. She won't get that call, as that is going to be a point for the Bears. 19-11. And Bears pulling it with an 8. And again, cannot get it over the net. Not enough power to it, as that was Lizzie Nelson. Fatigue starting to set in as this team looks tired. And looks like another substitution being made as number 7 and 26 are in for the Rangers. Anderson and Monticelli. Masatelli and Anderson are in for the Rangers. And now Rangers slowly trying to put this one away within 5. Great save there. Bears aren't saying die yet, which is something you love to see, the grit and the hustle of this Bears team. And McPhee couldn't get it on the inside boundary as the pull plays great defense and blocks it. Substitution being made as number 14, Gustafson, is out and Sagner's in for the Bears. That serve makes it over. Miscommunication as Gaynor. Looks like she went in front of, I want to say, that looks to be a number 3. I want to say Jaeger, but kind of far from up here to tell. Another serve here by Sagner. And Bears are trying to pull it within 7. Bears trying to mount a comeback. And there's another point for the Bears, as that time it was Sammy Steffens with the good play. And Rangers are now leading by 6. As time is not really a factor here. But now again is Sagner with a little bit of a hot streak going here with the serve. Weiss brings it over, and that's going to be another point for the Rangers. That looked to be Masatelli. And a substitution being made as I want to say Baki's now in and Swanson is now out for the Rangers. That one's up and over. Nelson gets it. Easy tap. A miscommunication there as the newly subbed in Baki just kind of got right in front of it. She couldn't do the best she could with it. But nonetheless, that's going to be Bears point, 21-15. That serves up and over. That's Steffens. That's saved back around by Baki with the quick spike down by the Rangers. Bears trying to keep it within play. Gaynor with the left hand. And it keeps it within play as it's just volleys left and right. Looks like the setup and the spike, but met with the wall. Keeps it within play. Back around. Nelson's just going to reset it. Gaynor brings it up. Back around. Big spike down. No good as that Steffens with the save. Moves back up, and that one's finally down as Bears, out of all of that, will bring in the point. Measure Schmidt put the exclamation point on that. Couple great saves there by Masatelli and what looked to be Rebecca Anderson, but the Rangers couldn't come away with the point there. 21-16. Nelson with the saves, brings it back around. Love tap and a love block. As that's Kaislin and Baki with the great play there. DeMars checks back in and Weiss checks out. 22-16. Bears slowly keeping it in. They're keeping it competitive. And the Bears trying to mount a comeback, but DeMars says, not in my house. As Maddie DeMars just puts one down. It's 23-16. Rangers within 2 to put this all away. That save's nice and up. Brought back around. Rangers with a nice scramble. DeMars spikes it down. And DeMars with another point for the Rangers. Looks like that's going to be Gaynor. And again, you see Mike Anderson just trying to plead with his players, just trying to tell them what to do, trying to keep them composed, doing the best he can. Right now, that's a great serve up. That's Steffens. Moving back around. Rangers trying to bring it home. The hammer, and down she goes. That looked to be Sagnus. And that is the game. And that was clean, and that was fast, and that was focused. Precision and accuracy. As you saw, there's no handshaking. There's no handshaking whatsoever. If you didn't notice, it was just kind of quick waves. But, I mean, this was very fast-paced, very quick, and very methodical of how this Rangers team took apart the Bears. The Bears will fall 1-4. The Rangers will rise 3-2 into the conference standings, as these are all conference games. But looking at the Suburban East Conference standings, East Ridge is 4-0 overall, Mounds View 3-1, Stillwater 3-1, Woodbury 3-1, Forest Lake's now going to be 3-2, Park Cottage Grove's now going to be still 2-2, Roseville's 2-2. White Bear will now fall 1-4. Cretan, Durham, and Irondale are both 0-4 overall. So Rangers are crawling their way back up in a 3-way tie right now with Stillwater, Mounds View, and Woodbury. But that is all, of course, due to change throughout the day. And wow, this was very quick, very fast pace. And it's been very fun to have you guys here watching. I'd like to thank all you viewers. I'd like to thank LATV for this wonderful broadcast. I'd like to thank Forest Lake. I'd like to thank Paul Peterson and everyone else in between. And as always, I'm Vincent, and I am signing out.